Board of Directors is 6:31. Comments and reports from citizens and organizations. Zippity-doo-dah. Administrators report.
I wanted to just touch on two things for some stuff I've been invited about. As I mentioned down about the middle of the page, Kevin and I met with Baldeo Singh. He's the Deputy Director of Operations for the SAC Regional Conservation Corps. A very productive meeting. He had, and Larry had shared correspondence and had a couple of meetings back when the grant was approved by the state 4 years ago, whatever that was. Anyway, the Corps would still want to be involved in the project at Sierra Creek once we break ground. But the really intriguing information that he shared with us is there's some grant opportunities that the Corps, the Conservation Corps has access to through another state proposition pot of money. And Kevin and I got some details on that today that I'll be sharing in the next several weeks with you. But there are some grant opportunities out there for heat mitigation, including funding for community gardens, tree plantings. Minimum request is $200,000 up to $5 million. So we'll do some more research on that grant opportunity and share that information with you in the coming weeks. I may do it mid-cycle because if I very briefly read his correspondence, but it looks like the deadline might be June 4th. But I will be sending stuff out to you mid-cycle between this meeting and the board meeting.
Awesome.
In June. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. Very nice man. I think it's going to be a nice partnership having those young men and women participating in our project, Sierra Creek. And then the last item in my my written report was the Aerospace Museum request update. I won't read it for you, but a couple thoughts I have about this matter. We've been talking about it for well over a year now. I put a lot of time and energy into this matter, trying to track down, through the Department of the Interior, through the National Park Service, and finally got at least where there was correspondence going back and forth. But I did put a snippet of what the last reply was from my contact. He works out of Seattle, Washington, and he's the regional director for the National Park Service. And you can read his short answer. And basically, the answer is you can't do what I was proposing, which was the only way I could see that this would possibly work. We can't give it away. We can't sell it. It's got to be for recreational purposes. And as he mentioned in that reply, nonprofits are not allowed to accept government property. I've shared this information with Tom Joseph, the executive director at the museum. He's looking to look at all options and opportunities, and he again, I put a snippet from an email from him, understanding and respecting the current position and constraints we're working with. Would we be comfortable him pursuing the path of engaging through Congressman Baer's office? I don't see a pathway through the National Park Service. If Tom, working with our elected representatives, can go a different way, I have no problem with that. I just don't feel like there's anything more I can do to try to. The ball's got to be in his court, yeah. Okay. So if the board feels, if there's consensus that that's okay too. If not, I'll just let them know the board doesn't want you to pursue it. But I see no reason. I mean, we have nothing to lose except the acre of land if it is to come to fruition. So.
Which is now up for discussion as related to a dog park, but
it is, yeah, it definitely is. Parking restrictions are a topic we have to look into at that point. That's pretty far down the road for that particular parcel.
So we all agreed that if it was possible, we would sell it to them. You've done your due diligence. You don't have a problem with them pursuing it.
Is there a way to get around some of the bureaucratic?
Not really.
Since
we are still under the jurisdiction of the federal government. even though it's our land,
Right.
there are significant restrictions on how that land can be used. We're using it in the proper manner right now.
Mhm.
But anything like what the museum is asking for, it's just, they can't approve that. Even if we reverse convey it back to the county,
Right.
he says there's no God way to do it. So,
Yeah, so we just turn on that, hey, do what you can do.
Yeah,
okay.
they can
Yeah.
pursue it and get back to us if they find it. An opening.
Yeah, and it's not like we haven't agreed to it and,
Yeah,
face to face, we just
We've
have
done
to
our
have
part.
the handshake part of it.
Exactly. That's all I have for my report. If you have any questions, I can answer.
Anything else on administrator's report? Okay, moving on to parks and facilities.
Good evening, everybody. I have nothing to add to this report, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. This crew's been up to.
Yeah. Besides, I had down here a thank you for what you've done to the parks, you and your crew, your added technology, I called it an ongoing issue until you clarified it with me about the drive-through Rock Park on Quad thing. That it was a car, but even in that, we can't stop something like that.
Is it again,
Well, at Rock Park, we had we got that.
a bollard was down and it allowed.
But even before, we've had a quad of these two youngsters, I'll call them, be nice. Taking a quad into grass and then just tearing it up.
Sure.
Right? So we had, my group was out there last week or so and practicing with our painter, and it looked like they really tore it up. I came in with speaking to Kevin. It was a vehicle that broke through a Ballard and was doing lawn jobs out there. But that brings me to the fact that even that upper section in between Memorial, is there a way we can try and keep those quads out?
I think we'd have to we'd have to move those ballers closer together. We could probably do that. In fact, I know we could do that. And then
it's
as
just-
long as we leave proper ADA access on the one
Right.
side, it's 36 inches.
Well,
I
it
don't
just
think-
takes away from, with baseball being out there now
That's tremendous.
and soccer, we don't, I think we don't, I'll speak for the pillars that use Brock, and we don't need those quads out there. Like I told Kevin, I was out there, there's a guy out there with his daughter on a little quad, and he was showing her how to do roadies out there.
Mhm.
And it was in the dirt, so I said, hey, that's baseball. But even still,
Is it posted, no vehicles?
It is.
Oh,
Or park regulations.
We don't allow
Yeah.
any bikes.
But it's just-
Any of that stuff.
that smaller quad that the little girl was on, there's nothing, I mean, she would, anything, but I mean, the bigger one that does, that is.
So we look at, I'm sorry, you were about to say.
I was just asking, when you do see it, are you reaching out to Night Watch and Dean and his team?
Well, most of the time when we were having our soccer fest out there, we did. But usually, sometimes it's even, when we're not around.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to prevent. I mean, I might start bringing an airsoft gun to soccer practice,
Well,
you know.
We
They're
will look
legal.
at, we will
They're
look at
legal.
ways to fortify the baller situation, adding ballers, maybe adding a cable barrier, strung through the ballers in there.
Because I mean, if you've gone out there, Scott, and which I'm sure you have, and see the big old ruts, some of this
God.
grass
Sure.
can't come back.
And we're irrigating now, so the grass gets very, very saturated.
Right.
And it's even worse on the end.
So, and those guys, I'm glad they just do it in one section by the old T-ball field, but that still affects, yes, a little bit of soccer, but right field for the big field, and so.
I feel for you guys.
But yeah, that's all I had, except on night watches.
Yeah, do they have a new procedure now where they contact a sheriff before they make contact?
If somebody's sleeping in the park, yes, so they can officially trespass.
Okay. Well, it seems like they've had good response. I mean, in a lot of these, it mentions officer so and so.
I like that, like, these reports are so much better now.
Oh, yeah,
You
way
know,
better.
but my one question I wrote down the other day was, how do we prevent from them using our electrical outlets down here?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering too, where were they plugged in?
Yes, up in the quad area, there's open boxes that have been broken away. Used to have padlocks on them.
Oh, no, so they did have padlocks on them.
Yeah, so that part of it does belong to the school, but we'll fix it.
So was that for like events and stuff?
So we could like lights and stuff in there, I'm assuming landscape lights in the past.
Interesting.
Back in the day, that's where they, well, Joanna knows, that's where they had the North Island Jubilee out in the plaza there.
It's also where we had the trailers before this building was built.
Yeah.
That was before my day.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Pat.
Besides a great job your crew's doing, and especially now that the weather's getting nicer.
Oh, I was gonna. Thought you met with somebody with what's it? Wasn't kidding. Department of Fish and Game,
Yes,
Wildlife.
yes.
Do they clean up the debris under the bridge or give us any information on not letting us do it and just leaving it there?
Fish and Game has nothing to do with that, but the Department of Water Resources does. We've reached out, Kevin, you probably
2 or 3 times.
burned, yeah. Kevin's been pretty diligent about it. And then we also tried to get a contact information number from or contact info from Karen, which she provided, so we'll keep just calling them and sending them to me.
Squeaky wheel.
How many times have we reached out about it?
I've reached out to them 3 times.
I will tell you, when I was out there with the scientists from AECom and from the gentleman from the CDOTs, the California Fish and Wildlife, there wasn't as much debris and trash in the creek bed as I thought there'd be. A lot of graffiti on the bridge. Again, we're not supposed to touch that. It's within the creek itself, but now I didn't go all the way up to the origin of the creek, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, but it's still bad.
Are you trying to contact subordinates or like the director?
That would be my next step.
I was gonna say, it's time to go up the ladder.
Here it is.
And that's state, right?
Fish and Wildlife is state. DWR is county.
That's county.
So if nothing else by next month,
Yeah.
maybe the board ought to write a letter to our state representative.
I can reach out to Rosario's office as well.
She's county,
Well,
talk about
Park
state.
Resources.
right, but they're not the ones you're trying to reach.
No, they are trying to.
Oh, okay.
Fish and Wildlife doesn't, they're
Okay.
more about the species and the
Yeah,
plants.
if you don't get a response by June, then
I'll let you know.
well,
Yeah, Kevin, so for the devices that you have on your new technology, does each of your staff members have one of those devices?
Correct.
Okay, and do you see like any maintenance, upkeep, any additional budgetary requirements looking into the next year's budget?
For the
Like, are you gonna have to
tablets
upgrade
themselves?
software or anything like that?
No, we won't need any software upgrades. And the tablets are working very well with the 5G connection. The only thing I into the budget was to account for it monthly service.
Internet service?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you.
anything else for Kevin?
I appreciate the new sign on Cape Parks.
Looks good.
Beautiful, big, old
I will give all the credit to Kayla on that one, that she ran that, that's lovely.
Awesome. And how do we assess the health of our trees? I was at Cape Cod on Monday. One of the tree branches that fell on a car.
Mhm.
And then I had a call with this place, I forget how to say their name, replacement tree. And they were talking about how they use, data and software and AI to assess conditions from trees to roads to ADA. So I'm just curious, do we have an arborist that we call, our trees
have an
tagged?
We have an arborist on staff.
Our tree tagged and like noted, like, how do you assess the health?
So that is in the beginning process, we haven't had that in the past, and with our new program, we have written a tree inspection report on that, to be able to go through and do that. And the next thing is for us to go geolocate every single tree that we have in the entire district, which will take a considerable amount of time. So we'll go with a tablet and put a locator on it, and so this is, for example, Cape Park tree number 3. And then it's what species is it, Bradford pear, which is the one that broke and fell. Now, as far as assessing the health of them, with Bradford pears, this time of year, you're gonna see that and they start to dry out. We're gonna really see the weak spot. I don't know if you got to see the spot on the tree that broke. Looked very, very healthy on the outside, the inside was getting. So, it's one of those things, we can't really tell with that until we have an issue, but, I also noted in here that we did a lot of tree removal and branch cleanup at Freedom. Specifically, we've gone through some of those trees and noticed that, hey, this is a very heavy limb and it started to peel away. So those are the things that Brad can see, and he's helping those trees, taking those branches out as soon as he can.
And I noticed that Tree Foundation supports with planting. What do they do with the one once they're planted? That's it, it's kind of
Walk
like.
away and do another.
Got it. It's good to know.
And those are saplings, they're small trees, but a lot of them are fast growers, oak trees and pistache and trees like that, maples are fast growers as well. Those are the ones, and they'll let you customize what kind of trees you want. So we were working with them now to do another tree planting, sometime probably in the fall.
Archmont Park, it's, those trees are growing.
Yeah, we plant trees for the future to bask in the shade, we do not plant trees for us.
Right. Yeah.
Anything else for Kevin? Okay, moving on to recreation report, Rachel.
I will, if I may interrupt, I'm gonna say my goodbyes, it's my daughter's 18th birthday,
Oh,
so I'm gonna go home and spend the evening with her.
Awesome.
I'm great.
have fun.
Happy birthday to the girl.
Tell them you said so, thank you.
Right, good evening, everyone. The only thing that I want to point out is that we have 2 new sponsors, including Walmart as our Highland Champion, which is worth $2,000, and then Sacramento Antelope Lions Club. They are a community helper sponsor. They donated $640. That's gonna go specifically to help families pay for summer camp this summer. So I just wanted to point that out. I have nothing else to add. Any questions?
I'd like to add something quickly to Rachel's report. This will be her last board meeting for about 5 months. Rachel
Yeah.
goes out on maternity leave at the end of May. So starting in June, Kayla Thayer will be here deputizing for Rachel as acting recreation administrator, or excuse me, superintendent. No, I was. Already slipped.
You got some motion there.
I didn't tell you?
I'll come back. Never mind.
You just gotta stick around.
Yeah.
So why are the sponsorship monies already allocated to summer camp?
That's why
Why aren't they going into the scholarship fund?
the Lions Club specifically asked to support a program. And summer camp is our largest program and they needed to incentivize their time.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then 2K,
The 2,000 for Walmart, that does go into our, that goes into our sponsorship funds, not scholarship.
okay. Are we doing anything else to get the scholarship funds back up?
Not at this current time, because we have quite a bit of money in there.
Needs to be done.
It says $1,148 remaining.
No, we talked about at the last board meeting, that's just the amount that's allocated specifically at recreation. We started at, let's see,
2,000.
We started, yeah. Yeah, And that carried over from the previous fiscal year and the previous fiscal year, so like Crystal said, we need more people to apply for our scholarship.
Okay, why am I not getting this? 3,150 was allocated, and there's 1,148 designated for recreation, so the balance is somewhere else.
Yeah, it's on your financial pages. Bottom right there.
Yeah.
It's on page
6 billing revenue.
when you go under the revenue report. For recreation at the bottom, right, Timmy?
Yes.
So donation sponsorships, it looks like we have 9 grand.
Yeah.
11. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I was looking at sponsorships. Scholarships, we have $11,931.
What page you on, please?
Page 3 of the revenue for recreation.
Yeah, 191.
Got it.
So we pull money from that each fiscal year, which will probably add a little bit more to the 1,100, 1,500, whatever's left right now. And then, so we've got a little bit of cushion, but we'll need to do some fundraising in the year.
And how's aquatics going as far as staffing, training, all that good stuff?
We just did our onboarding for our recreation coordinator who's filling Crystal's role. She starts on Monday. Her name's Amaya. Extensive background in aquatics, current varsity swim coach at a local private school, has a background in kinesiology and recreation management. She'll be at the next board meeting, you guys can meet her then. So she starts on Monday. We have a stellar pool manager. I feel like such a win that we got him. He has 7 years of lifeguarding, pool managing experience from a local agency. Comes with a lot of knowledge. We have offered 7 jobs, waiting on all of them to pass their background checks and things like that. And then today, Kevin, who's our pool manager, attended Foothill High School. They were doing a recruiting day and he passed out applications and business cards and things like that, showed face. So fingers crossed we get at least 4 or 5 would be ideal. 5 more would be ideal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And
So
how about online registration, all that, getting set up? Or-
yeah, so right now, we already have a couple on the paid side, which is great. I only have session 1 open. On the Twin River side, the list is extensive. I believe it's over 135 people, which we will not be able to serve all 135 of them. But the spots will definitely be filled.
And so from when to when?
The swim lessons start June 8th and they end on August.
So about 2 months?
Yeah.
And is there anything else? Is there any open swim? Is there any lap swim? Is there any
Nice.
Yes, we have family
night swim?
We have family swim Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sunday.
Awesome. And that's all gonna be up and running
On June 8th.
okay, and on the website?
It's on the website already.
Good job, Rachel. So Chris's name is finally gonna be off the automated answering machine thing?
It's off. And
Okay.
Amaya's on. Our email is
Awesome.
ready to go.
The Kevin you were referring to, that's the pool man?
Yeah,
That Kevin?
No.
Oh, no, that's not right.
No. No,
you
no,
didn't do that.
yeah, part-time pool manager, he started last week, he's already done tremendous amount of work for me in 2 weeks, so he's great.
Way to go, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah, all I heard off online was great job, so.
Yay.
And how long does it take you when you're off work to deep fry to just be Rachel stay on the mom?
Oh, no, I check my.
I know you can't.
Yeah, I'll check on everything. Yeah.
Alright, anything else, Rachel?
I had a great time at the jewelry market. It was a very good hit. I'm so glad y'all did that. I wish my kids could have gone shopping for me, but I think I was better because I got to shop myself. And then I packaged it and said, "This is the gift that you're gonna keep." So it worked out. It was $1 and it was really good quality stuff. So I'm curious, Project Propel, Am I saying correctly? They've done so many things with NHRPD. When do they get a banner as a sponsor? Because they've been sponsoring breakfast and events, activities.
Yeah, I can definitely, that is great feedback. I'll talk to Kayla about that on Monday.
And then we had a great time with the season's volleyball. The 6 teams, we actually made it to playoffs. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, right, but it didn't last long, but it's okay.
Hey, you
It
got
was fun, yeah.
it's like the Raiders got there.
Yeah. The ladies. So the journey was fun, really appreciated. John is a great ref and coach, and it's just really good time at Cape Heart on Mondays. So we appreciate y'all for what y'all doing. We hope y'all consider fixing those lines on the court.
We are getting it.
Please.
We're getting a quote right now from the organization that actually painted them originally, so we're just waiting on them coming out and giving us a price and
So
it's challenging.
We're using tape. It's tape that's over to like mark the lines. Some of the tape is lifting up, some of it you can't see because there's like a dark blue, light blue, and then the tape.
It'll be permanently painted on.
Thank you.
Hey, anything else for Rachel? You'll be missed.
We get used to this fan,
Oh.
like once a year.
Okay, your age gap.
Rachel, anything else? I see the pictures from the teen job workshop. Is it something that's gonna be ongoing or is just one time, like one and done?
We always offer it in the springtime to recruit for our summer hiring. This was our largest turnout we've ever had. And we received multiple applications and interviews. So I'll have to follow up with staff on if any of them want to offer the job. I didn't get anyone for applies, but it's okay. So right now it's focused on that. We usually try to do a different teen workshop series each quarter, and on the job workshop is in the spring specifically for summer hiring.
Who provided the laptops?
It's Dragon's Tens. Yeah.
Way of recycling.
Yeah.
Use your resources. And then is that Mr. Kaishan?
Yes.
Oh,
Sean does it every year for us.
amazing.
Yes, yeah. He brings his original resume that he gave us, which I weirdly still have, as reference of what not to do. And then he helps them build a resume and practice interview skills and things like that, so.
I follow y'all on socials. I wish this was highlighted. Some of the activity, just to show, what you're doing, the investment you have in our young people, and how it's almost like a cycle, right? You train them in hopes that they come work for us and like continue that. So this is a great thing to add, promote. Thank you.
All right, moving on, item 4A, correspondence. Capri.
I added this, we got it via email mid-cycle. I know it's a little maybe a tad bit confusing in that we talked about CRPD board member vote coming up in May. This is a replacement position on the Capri board. Capri board of directors is responsible for oversight policy direction. You can read it. Meets 5 to 6 times a year. So to be eligible, it can be a board member like all of you, or a upper management staff. If you are interested in this, the deadline to put in your interest via email to Matt Duarte is May 18th. So.
The one we did was the slate, right? That was.
That was for CRPD. Yes.
They meet locally?
Pardon?
They meet locally.
They move their meetings around because Capri represents
Everybody knows.
districts from northern, well, almost up in the Oregon border, all the way down to the San Diego area.
They do Zoom.
But they do pay for travel expenses and hotels and things like that as well. And they offer that Zoom option as well.
Anybody have anything on that?
I was thinking about putting my page, but I changed.
Alright.
Press stop on it.
Alright, moving on, reports from standing committees. Do any of the committees have a report?
No, we got one next week though.
Yeah, Budget Finance and Audit will meet a week from today on the 21st, 10 a.m. in the community center. And that'll be to review the preliminary budget. Final draft.
That's Pat and Bo.
Yeah.
Just suggestion, you look at where we're at on expenditures. Cause we only have a month to go in the fiscal year and make sure that the items that are over 100%, significantly over 100%, are addressed in the new budget, so that we account for that. Okay, moving on.
Chair question, so. Just for clarity, so for example, if something's like at 110%, you're saying, look at where we are and then account for that 10, or whatever that additional expense was, to include it in the next year's budget? Like to increase the amount that's requested or the line item, okay?
Right, and by the same token, if you have, thousands of dollars set aside in an account and it was used for anything.
Reallocate it to something else.
Right.
Okay.
Which is all in the expenditure reports.
So for example, in the
Refuse was a big one this year.
yeah, I was gonna use that as an example. On the expense side, on page 3 of the general fund, under maintenance, I line number 155. We are almost $19,000 over what we expected to spend this year. And we did add a lot of services through Republic
Where are you on expenditures?
page 3 on expenditures, line 155. So that's one we've already addressed and we'll be adding significantly to that number to be able to cover our refuse
Yeah.
costs for the next year.
So like office supplies was at 110%, but if you look at the amount of money, it was only about $100 over what was budgeted. It's not as big a deal as when you budget 11,000 and you've already expended almost 30,000. For refuse.
Okay.
And then same on line 157, we budgeted 2,000. We've expended 2264.30. So just adding, making that 2,025 takes care of it.
Yeah, that's because we added the tablets and the service for the
Right.
productive.
And that's what I was thinking, some things were so circumstantial or like it was.
Right, which is why you meet with staff.
Okay, to see if it was a one-off thing or if it was something that's gonna be ongoing, okay.
Exactly. I
Thank
mean,
you.
if it's $100, $100 is not a big deal,
So I got a
But then
question.
if you look at another account and there was monies allocated for that, and yet maybe it only used 20 or 30%. Then you can basically rock Peter to pay Paul, you can just move the money around, if you don't need it, you don't need it.
So when we are putting like additional funds for specific reasons, right? Does that adjust in the percentage? Or is the percentage based on what the first approval of the budget is, or is it adjusted when we get additional funds approved?
That's a very good question. I'm gonna defer to Terry on that one. When we make the mid-year contingency transfer, do we change the expenditure side showing what the new number is we have to spend?
Yes.
So the 11,000 is what we started the year with, wasn't it?
Right.
So we didn't.
But what's on here is what if those contingency funds are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we didn't change $11,000. So if that was the original budget amount, I think we added some more money from refuge.
Which, refuge.
2193.
We put money in there and it's added in there.
Okay, all right. Yes, it should be accounted for in that manner.
And then adjust the
The
percentage.
contingency is just something that you're sort of redoing. It is adding to the budget. It's like a new budget.
Yeah, and he's just asking, does that number change in the billing reports
Yes.
or, financial?
I can remember, yes.
So yeah, sound all good? Okay. Nothing else from committee committee, so consent calendar. I don't have anything on the,
it was simple, it was simple last month. Make a motion, yeah, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve consent calendar.
Second,
okay, any further discussion? I was curious about monthly services on the computers.
What payment of the bills?
Yeah. Just what kind of monthly service do we get on the computers?
Yeah, he goes as it's his service.
NCS is the company that provides our IT for us, basically. We don't have IT in the house. So that's basically his retainer for the month. Now, if we buy a computer or have to repair a computer or upgrade someone's computer, then there are additional costs.
Downloads and upgrades.
But that retainer, we do reach out to Viet frequently, at least once or twice a week, so. Rachel can attest because she's been working on getting Amaya's stuff changed over for Christopher's stuff,
And
so.
he can do it, yeah, computers.
Yeah, he does it most times, doesn't he?
So he doesn't have to come in here and won't charge us $200 for a service call.
And then do we charge fees for payments by plastic?
Like I go to card.
Yeah.
Yes, there are service charges on those, yes,
To the customer.
you're correct,
Yeah, man.
Sorry.
pretty significant.
Did you see how much?
what is it, tax more?
$780?
Wait,
And fees and charges?
assumes fees too?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I
that
thought,
was money.
it was on us to cover that.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, that's on some of that cost.
Ah,
So we have to have a mechanism by which people can pay by plastic and that costs us money.
Cash. We, the district has to pay the fees because they
Same
give
with
you
cash.
cash or check.
But we're paying fees to ActiveNet.
Yeah.
So like you put your Actinet and it's cash, we pay their fees.
Yeah.
For the privileges of using their services, yeah,
Yeah.
So
we have to pay them
And so,
fee,
yes, my question
transaction
was,
fee.
is there a service fee for customers using plastic so that some of that is shared?
Yeah, the customer has a fee
They
too,
should
which
do
is pretty,
it's very expensive.
Yeah, for $190 volleyball, it comes to $202.
There you go.
And I was like, I'm not paying the extra, I'm coming inside.
There you
But
go.
like then I didn't know that you all still get the fee though.
Yes.
I was trying to avoid the fee thing.
What, yeah, you avoided it.
Yeah, you avoided
it. You can't do the district. But it's not even much what you donate, depending on how much your cash you can use. Do the percentage on it.
but so the fee with ActiveNet too is if you're paying by card, there's a credit card fee, which you can't avoid. And there's basically a registration fee. So,
Yeah.
which is why it's, you're 190 to 202, there's two fees in that, yeah.
I will tell you at this time too, that the billing report for Alberta Park, the CFD, was not in your original packet. That was put in place on your stuff, so my apologies. That slipped past me in the reviewing the.
Pass by me.
Joanna
Copy.
Brown. So anyway, your CFP financial reports are there, and also the payment of the bills for Cherry Blossom and Elwood Park.
Lastly, on consent calendar, Rachel, just kudos again to you for going way over budget on your revenue on some of your programs. Makes me happy.
We get a vote yet?
Any other discussion?
Discussion.
All in favor then?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, moving on from the consent calendar, unfinished business. Westwood monthly update presentation.
I'll take that one. Karen Folsom had every intent to be here tonight. She wanted to present in person. She had an injury in her very close immediate family and was not able to get away tonight. She offered to do it on Zoom. I consulted with our board chair and decided that We'll put her on the June agenda, because she would have liked to make the report to you in person. Who knows, by then we might have all of our permits. That'd be a very great thing, so. But you can read her report, which things were completed for submittal to the county. The public restroom company reported that the state has approved the plan for the building and construction. What's important about that is once the state approves it, it really kind of makes it a much easier, smoother process for the county to approve it. And next month in the payment of the bills, I think you'll see, maybe it's in this month's, although you probably would have caught it. We made our first really big purchase outside of pre-construction. We paid for half of the restroom building out of the Prop 68 grant funds. But it's just over 200,000 for half the cost of it. So, but they fabricate that back in the Midwest, ship it out here, crane it in, and drop it right on the plumbing and the sewage lines, and we have a functioning bathroom within a day. So we're excited about that. But the county will have to sign off on that. You'll see that on our report on the grid she put together on page 2, building department. The contractor, once we go to bid and select a contractor, will take the lead on getting the bathroom building approved by the building department in Sacramento County. That's why it shows 0. But I look at this and I see we're 5% away with environmental planning. We're 5% away with Department of Transportation. We're 5% away with DWR. The Department of Transportation at the very bottom, that's the road improvements, the U-turn lane. It's at 50% right now, but that doesn't stop us from starting to build a park. They can run concurrently. So it's not contingent on that being done before we can build the park. So I would like to get that approved, finally, but we can start everything else and start building our park, hopefully by the end of the summer, early fall.
The only thing I don't see that. Oh, Crystal, if you've got something, go for it.
No.
Okay, I don't see any update on the last paragraph. The mitigation measures. It's exactly the same report we had last month. So is there a process involved
It's
here?
more of a process and approval. Once we start working around the creek itself, and in any construction project in an open field like that we have here, there are protocols we have to follow. For example, if the contractor's digging away with a backhoe and he comes across something that looks like a bone, like a piece of bone, we stop. There has to be someone that comes out, does an inspection. That's a chicken bone, you're good to go. That's human, that could be valuable or important, so that's the mitigation stuff.
Well, it says that there's 2 surveys required, and it must be completed before groundbreaking. Western pond turtle and nesting birds, as well as worker training for paleontological and cultural resource unanticipated discovery.
And I don't have an answer for you, but I will get that information from Karen on Monday or tomorrow, and I'll email you out.
I assume wildlife is doing the surveys or research. You have to pay for the surveys?
Yes, we pay for everything basically, but the Fish and Wildlife, I walked around out there with their representative and the one from AECom, and he was just very, I don't think there's any problems here. Verbally, he just said everything looks okay. Their report is due out, I think, by the end of next week. So we'll get hopefully final approval from them, and that'll be another box we can check off.
Okay. Well, it seems to me that those surveys could be scheduled.
I'll get some clarification. She may have, I'm knowing Karen, it's already scheduled, but I just don't have that information in detail for you.
And I'd like to know what worker training for what workers?
Not us. Yeah, it's gotta be the contractor that oversees that. So there are individuals that will come out and fill that role.
Okay. Anything else on Westwood? I like the chart.
Yeah, I agree that too.
It's money.
And then May 22nd, we get that other report.
That's when it's due, yes.
Okay. Well, so far it seems like their guesstimates have been right on. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
anything else?
With the Department of Transportation, resubmittal, is it because we submitted something and it wasn't correct or whatever?
Yeah, they wanted revisions to what was submitted.
How does the traffic thing impact this submission? Is
Well,
it?
the one on the bottom is specific to the
To the
traffic, to the road improvements. And I believe the one that they sent back was they wanted landscapes. If you have been down North Waterwalk, they're just to the south of where we have to do ours, there is another median there and it's got trees and plants in it. They're wanting us to do the same thing for the island that have to put in for $500,000.
Are they gonna water it?
I was just gonna ask, who maintains?
Yeah.
We do. We have to provide the irrigation for it.
Can we suggest what we plant? Like drought resistant, like stuff that's
Yeah.
not.
Yes.
Yeah, we can weigh in on that, yes.
And does that median, does it have to have like a barrier where folks can't run across the road like how it is on wide and 80 area?
That's on Canyon, that's to keep them.
So you're talking about the rod iron stretches?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's required for this one, but I'd have to find out.
I think that's just to prevent people from getting ran over.
Yeah. And another question I have, do we have a contingency fund or has Odell asked for a contingency fund for the possible increase in fuel and shipping costs?
Well, it'll all come out of the same pot. It'll come out of the grant funds. You know, costs go up. We knew they would go up.
Yeah.
I mean, the grant was issued in 2021 and we're sitting here talking in 2026.
Yeah, right.
We know there'd be cost increases. There is, if you remember what the original budget was that Karen presented a couple of years ago, there was a $500,000 contingency. So I'm sure if we have to redo that, once we get the bids back and the contractor gives us a price of what they're gonna have to charge us, we may have to up that a little bit. So,
Okay.
but we'll deal with that when we get to it. But there is a contingency built into the budget.
Okay. Would you note that I would like to talk more about that next week? You have had during budget meeting.
Just specific to the project or?
Yeah,
To see overall.
because I mean, that's the big thing that we have. I know we're gonna have some increase in costs, like, for our maintenance crew and things like that, but we can handle that. I'm thinking getting stuff shipped from the Midwest and all the fuel costs and all that kind of stuff. It could be a little bit more than just a few extra dollars.
Well, that's pretty much was our reasoning and our justification for buying the bathroom building now
Yeah.
is lock it in at a cost that'll be less than a year from now.
Okay.
Years.
Okay.
This was a.
I know, but I'm saying.
Don't get me started.
Okay.
Okay, my question for everyone is there anything else that you specifically want Westwood to address when they come out here next month? Like I asked about the surveys and the worker training, is there anything else in here that you want more specifics on when she's here next month?
I just want her firstborn to get done before my next term is up next time. Hey, I got a simple task. Hey, come on, Joanna, we can
Hey,
do
I had to
that.
come back 20 years later.
It's not this is a reimbursable grant?
Correct. We have to spend the money and get it back.
Okay.
So we're hoping that 200,000 plus is gonna get back to us between now and the end of June, so we can put it in this year's revenue other.
Well, Terry puts it in the right spot.
Well, I just got sent to the county state, so it takes 4 to 12 weeks to get cleaning back. But I did tell them that the 4 other invoices should be coming back with the year.
Now, I don't have anything for her, to be honest with you, Joanna. Then these updates we're getting are okay. I'm just tired of updates. I just want finality.
Well, you have between now and June 11th, so if you do come up with something, you think about it, anytime between now and then, send me an email and I'll forward that to Karen. We meet every other week, and she's very receptive to you know, customizing her presentation to hear what, to answer questions you have. And I'll bring that contingency question up.
So she's coming in person next month.
That's the plan, yeah. She was supposed to be here tonight.
I kind of nixed the Zoom thing. I said, no, let's have it there in person.
I totally agree. Okay, I got too much money going out, that, but I dinner stuff. But,
We can buy her some lose while she's here.
faith,
Sorry with what they're getting paid, they could buy us too.
you know.
No, that's called a kickback, I'm not going to jail.
Wouldn't be the first time I have it.
Okay, are we moving?
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to item B. Policy revisions.
Okay,
Are you taking the reign on this, Scott, or is?
no, I am. So what I included in my report, and you'll see it, next to the bullet point, policy 6050 and 6060 were approved last month. So those were already approved by the board. I just gave you the final draft of what they'll look like.
Okay.
So if you see anything that looks amiss or doesn't make any sense, again, you can let me know, and Tara and I will revise those. So 60 and 50 have been approved. That's just the way they're going to look going into the policy manual. What I addressed for this meeting was the proposed revisions to policy 6090 and 6100. This was an item that came up at the last personnel policy meeting. Crystal and Zach weighed in, had a lot of input on what needed to be changed. Joanna also pointed out some things. And at the risk, I don't want to jinx it, but outside of just a couple earlier policies that we've already discussed several times that haven't come to a resolution, policy 6100 is the very last one in the policy manual. So for all intents and purposes, we're done. We do have a few to go back, and staff will always come up with something and bring it back to you for your discussion and review. But so 6090 and 6100. I don't need to read it to you. You can see what the proposed. To the right one. So basically, the goal was, because those are very long, bloated, a lot of wordy, old language that doesn't apply anymore to the district or to this day and age. But I was just trying to be more concise. So 6090. I think had close to, well, I gave you a copy of it. It's all about permits. It had 21 provisions, 21 sub items in that, and the proposed one will have 13. And it just outlined in very succinct terms what the new policy could look like. So that's the proposal from staff, just to review that, discuss it, and let me know if there's any changes you want. And then for 6100, same approach. It was old and out of date, just trying to take a very, very bloated policy with lots of wording in it and make it a little more distinct and a little more concise. And so instead of 17 items, we ended up with, it's going to be 17 items. Yeah, it's 17. But it's a lot easier to read, it's a lot clearer. That was the goal, and really what we need to focus on in today's day and age.
So, for me, on 6060, under what circumstances, if any, do you see someone requesting the facilities and coming to the board? It seems like all of these now delegate that entire decision-making progress to you.
But there was some discussion, I think it was last month, that if they're going to ask for it for free, much as we do with a paying rental that uses the community center or this room as a fundraiser, I think it's important for the board to see that person, tell us about your organization, tell us about what you're doing in the community and how does it benefit North Highlands.
And we don't think it's necessary to put in policy, just have it as a policy?
I thought we put some wording in there in this.
Cause all I saw was 6 and 7, 60, 66 and 7. General manager or designee.
$69 was fundraising. Revenue generation.
Say again, Terry?
6098 is fundraising and revenue. Special events,
That's the old version.
that's the
No,
first one, the top part. This is your revision.
Yeah,
Which
6090.8, but it doesn't say anything.
Welcome to the.
I thought you were talking about the free use of recreation.
Well, I said when, under what criteria would someone come to the board? And you pointed out, we like that. If they want it for free, then we wanna see them, we wanna
Yeah.
know them.
Yeah.
But that's not in here. And Terry's referring to the fundraising revenue generating activities, which also doesn't say anything about. Right,
Would it fall under 6090.13? And Scott, it said that you're making a policy around that, so would this be a part of that policy?
on what, Bob?
6090.13?
Yeah, I mean, that's open enough that we could include a visit to meet the board of directors and talk about the permit for. Really, this is just the permits that have to be issued to get the building use. The free use and the, you know, the
That's the old one, isn't it?
Well, that's on the, it's on the proposed. The one that I'm looking at, 6090.1.
2013 just outlines some administrative procedures, what we do internally here as a staff to issue permits and.
The proposed is the first 2 pages.
Yes.
Where it says policy title permits, that's the old.
Right, but on page 2 of the proposed,
Yes, page 2 of the proposal.
6090.13 is what he's talking.
Now I'm on the same page.
And so in that, a part of your policy can be, this is what we do, but if you're coming to ask for it for free, then it has to go to the board.
And that could be part of the administrative procedures. Right now, we ask for at least a 30-day window if someone comes in and wants to rent a building. Sometimes we can waive that, especially if it's for a repast or a celebration of life. That's an administrative policy that I kind of put in place. It's really just it gives the staff time to do the whole rental process, but in cases where we need to accelerate it because people can't wait a month to say goodbye to a loved one.
Yep.
So that's just an administrative policy that we do internally, basically.
Okay. So, do you wanna do anything about that, or is that just gonna fall under? That's part of your administrative,
Well, I'm open to any suggestions you have on revising any of the wording that I put into the proposed, both for 6090. And if I left something out of 6060, which I see what you're saying, Joanna, it's an easy fix.
But if the administrator has the right to yay or nay, he just tells them, hey, you gotta go to the board. And ask, explain to them like he was saying what. But yeah, like you say, Scott, it'd be something simple to put in there. I mean, hey, it's not like we haven't pushed off to put old business back in old business for next month too, so. If they make you feel better, I understand what you're saying, then do it. Yes.
so just some kind of verbiage about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a couple words.
I'm just reporting it.
And then on 6090, we talk about nonprofits, but I don't see any process or procedure for verifying nonprofit status. At the least, we should require the IRS declaration letter or a TOS search online to make sure. Some have articles of incorporation. Personally, I wanna see a copy of their recent 990 or 990 easy. And it would not apply to churches because churches are all exempt, but some other group coming in as a nonprofit, I think there ought to be some requirements of. validation of their status as nonprofit.
They have to bring their 501c.
Pardon?
They have to bring their 501c.
Right, but you file that's the letter of declaration, yes.
Yes.
But they should also, like, just my personal opinion, if you go to search for them on the TOS and they're not there. Okay, then
Yeah.
something's out of date, not up to date, not
Right.
current,
They're just,
and then same thing with the 990 or the 990 easy. Now I understand the government takes its sweet time posting those because they're supposed to be easily accessible. But that doesn't put them from bringing us a copy.
right.
They all have accountants, so they should be able to bring us a copy of their 990 and their 990 easy for the year before. But yeah, I think we need to safeguard that they're nonprofit.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, when folks come in for use of space, do they already know that they may be eligible for free use, or like, do they, just people already come in requesting it? I'm just curious, like, how many people come in even knowing that that's available?
Well, I think, I would say 95% of the people that walk through the door to get a rental packet are trying to plan a quinceanera or, a wedding reception or baptism. And they know there's gonna be fees in that, because they've probably done their research throughout the region.
Yeah.
And nonprofits usually ask for reduced fees
Which we offer, we do have a nonprofit rate for rentals. Really, to speak frankly, most of the free use stuff kind of comes, sometimes it's generated by board members. Sometimes it's community partners that are looking to hold a meeting, and they'll come to us and say, hey, I want to use this or that. And usually, we're always going to support our government partners, local government partners, LAFCO and the county and all those. They meet here for free. But we've got, we branched off a little bit into nonprofit stuff. The school districts, if they need space, we'll offer it up for them as well. We've done that in the past. So we just want to be good community partners with our locals. So, but no, I don't know. I can't answer your question. I think everyone that
We don't ask like, how'd you find out? It's not like we call them and say, how'd you find out?
sometimes less.
Oh.
Yeah. Or they'll say, hey, you're a little bit less than Sunrise, or you're a little bit less than Carmichael. We're pretty much, less expensive than just about every district. And we will be doing that, the surveying of locals, as we head into finalizing this budget cycle. So.
I was curious why we eliminated 6090.21 in the old. Just because I remember times when there were parks were used for concerts. Car shows usually were up at Gibson. But I'm just curious why do you feel like that already falls under?
We have some rental protocols that if someone comes and says, I want to rent all of Freedom Park, we have protocols in place, the cost, what they need to provide, insurance,
Okay.
yeah, contract generated by the recreation staff. So that's kind of being thinking.
And then my last one was under 6100.9 responsibility, all activities, including supervision of participants, any damage, loss resulting. It seems like we're upholding a policy that isn't outlined specifically. So my question relates to specific versus vague. And I wrote down 6100.3 as well.
You said 6090.3?
6100.3 alcohol. So alcohol is prohibited. This is policy. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff that happens if you violate that policy.
It's prohibited until you pay the fee though.
Right, but you're responsible for any damages, you're responsible for any extra security costs.
Yeah.
This is policy. Policy doesn't say that.
It doesn't say about the security costs. Now, I was, and
I
maybe
mean, I know if you want to serve alcohol, right, you have to have X-ray deterrence and the permit and security for X number of people.
Right.
Is it enough that that's in the rental agreement and not in policy? We're basically enforcing rules that aren't outlined in policy.
Well, it is broad, when permitted users must comply with all applicable laws, including required licensing and insurance. So we require every renter that uses our buildings to have insurance. They can buy it through agencies that we work with, that it's fairly inexpensive for one night of insurance
And the specifics are outlined in the application.
in the rental pack.
Okay, and the consequences also are outlined in the application, right?
Yes.
So basically, we're relying on a contractual agreement. Because it's not specified. in
And that
policy.
keeps us safe, because now they've actually signed a contract, and so they're going against the contract.
Well, that's-
necessarily against
yeah.
our policy.
Right.
And
So
we'll
that's-
need that for an insurance.
that was my question, the specific versus the vague, the policy versus the requirement, you've got it in the application, but it's not written policy. So we're basically enforcing a contract. We're not enforcing district policy, see what I'm saying? The specifics versus the vague. It was just a question I had when I read through some of these.
What would you suggest? Would you like the language that's on the application to be?
I'm okay with whatever's gonna work. I mean, you know, contractually, if they sign that rental application, they're basically agreeing.
Yeah, all of it.
Right,
No.
and that's why, you know,
I heard when Scott was talking about trying to make things a little less bloated.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I just
Yeah,
wanna make sure
if
it's all equally enforceable.
Yeah, and if we in the future have a more electronic form of our policy file, then you can attach those contracts underneath this, right? And so that would also help make it a little less bloated, but now that we're still on paper here, I think it'll just be too wordy if we know we've already got that covered.
So basically, if there's any problem with the contract, it's just standard contractual litigation. It's not anything, we're not gonna turn and say you're in violation of policy.
Right.
Because it's not written in policy. So,
Well,
and that's okay with me, if
It
that
is to the extent that it says that you have to follow all of the applicable laws for use of alcohol in our building.
Right, but laws are laws and our policies are our policies.
Right.
Correct, but like if someone's gonna sell alcohol at a you know, a crab feed or something like that, they have to get an ABC license for the night. So that's not outlined in any policy, but it's part of the rental process.
Right.
That they have to go get that, and they have to bring it to us before their event. So the rental packet is very, very specific in what you can do and what you can't do without this, and this.
Okay.
Event insurance, you know, a deposit that we will keep if you know,
Right.
walk.
No, I'm less concerned about violations of law. Cause yeah, we can always fall back under
Sure.
the sheriff's department, but like, there's no law that says that they promised only have 100 people and they showed up with 250 people.
Yeah.
That's not law, that's policy.
Yeah.
But if we have a contractual agreement outlining the penalty for violation of that clause of the contract, I'm good. It was just a question I had,
No, that's a good question.
law versus policy. Alright. Crystal. Probably a good time, congratulations on the policy,
Teamwork, you led the charge, so thank you.
the place for carrying the torch.
So motion?
Guys, if you have anything on,
Well, we already approved.
But
Not these two.
no,
Okay,
but
not
this-
69.
60, 90.
yeah,
But I do have some notes that I've taken. I'll do a quick revision of some of the language as I presented it,
Mhm.
and then bring that back kind of in a final draft form, just like I did with 60/50 and 60/60 in this packet. And if it meets your approval, then we'll, you know, it'll be the final version.
and approve it contingent on him making the changes.
Clarification. Crystal.
Yeah, I
So
know.
we'll just clarify what we're changing, or what it's contingent on.
Mhm.
are we including free use, bring it to the board, or is that just gonna remain within his purview? And it will be on our stuff.
Right, if we're gonna make changes, we might as well put that in there.
Okay, so people asking for free use.
Well, then, hold on, let him just bring it back, y'all.
Yeah, I agree.
No, there's only two items.
Oh, it's only, no, two updates, or?
Yeah, but there's only two things.
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong, that was one,
Free use.
is free use parts to the board,
Mhm.
and then the other one,
Any free use or specific to the nonprofit organizations.
The nonprofit organization. Cause like you said, he's gonna have people that he will
His
automatically
Okay.
will do.
yeah, like the ones that we've already done. You know, like autism, when she wanted to use Rich Point.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Or.
Or God forbid, we have like a tragedy in the
Yes.
neighborhood or something
Yeah.
like that. then
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
His discretion, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
free use of, bring to board.
And then the other one is the verification and nonprofit status and the requirements to verify that they are in fact nonprofit and in compliance.
Are those both under 69B?
I can add the reporting to the board in both 60, 60, and 69.
Okay.
But the nonprofit is specific to 69. I'll make that revision as well.
So, if my suggestion would be that we have the determination letter from the IRS, which is the 501c documents, that district staff check the TOS system for their status, and then their second would be their most recent 990 or 990 EC. So we're asking them for two pieces of documentation, and then staff will go online and check their status with the government.
The 990s are public knowledge.
Yeah, I was like.
Right, but I'm telling you, the IRS hasn't filed them in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why I said they have accountants, they can bring in their most recent filing. Alright. Cause 9 times out of 10, you can go on that TOS system and you won't find a 990 for 5 years, and you don't know if they're just not in compliance or if the government hasn't caught up yet.
What's TOS? Cause I'm only familiar with.
It's a system designed for you to validate 501c status. You can go online, you type them in, and it says they're in good standing, it shows you their declaration. It shows you their, it's with the IRS. And it shows you, you're supposed to be able to punch up their 990 forms, which are like their 1040s. But you can't rely on it, you can't rely on that automated system. That's why I said the best backup is to ask them for the most recent.
And even in a perfect world, they're usually a year or two behind.
Yeah. So just those two changes.
But the two policies though, 69 and 6100.
Yes, that's what you're voting on, is 60, 90, and 61.
That's not,
Yeah.
okay. So I move that we approve 6090, 6100 contingent on the additional notes that we've shared regarding the free use coming back to the board and the verification of nonprofit status noted by chair.
Second,
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So all we need is our personalized copies. And we're
Yes.
good.
I'll have them in June.
Is our policy binder, not binder, but the entire thing, is it digital? I'm not
It is.
digital, is it scanned up?
We can send the electronic version of it to you.
Please.
Yeah.
That'd be very helpful.
There's only one policy book and it's in the computer and I changed that and then. From whatever. There's something
You add that language to it.
Yes.
Got it.
So what Terry and I will work on, give us a month or so, but we're still behind in putting some of the final revisions in to that form. But once we get it, we can send it to you it's a Word doc basically. And you can scroll through it and read the policies, make sure they match what you have in your book, or hey, I don't have that when you print it out, print out that.
I would suggest a searchable PDF.
We don't have that yet, I'll look into it, so. We can reformat it if we had to, sure.
All good? Good. Moving on. New business item B, reductions in water consumption.
Actually,
Oh, wait, no, sorry, actually, resolution 655 authorizing the levy. of special taxes. Alberta Park, CFD.
My daughter's not gonna like that one.
We are asking the board to approve this adoption of resolution 655, which allows the district to order the levy of special taxes for next fiscal year, 26-27. The per household rate is indicated under discussion in the last sentence is $641.21. It comes out of the homeowner's annual tax, property taxes. The total assessment that funds maintenance of not just Cherry Blossom Park, but also the streetscapes of Alberta Park comes to $144,272. That's up slightly from last year, but that's basically our tax base for the CFD. So this is an annual thing we have to do. The board needs to approve adopting the resolution. This year it's 655 for providing levying of those taxes for the next fiscal year.
I move that we adopt resolution number 655.
Second.
Discussion? I don't know if you guys remember when I first came on, I asked about this. And I looked up how much those homeowners are paying versus how much we're spending on maintaining, right? And I just want you to look at the revenue report and then look at the expenditure report.
Break it down, Chair, break it down.
Look at the expenditures, look at in the budget. And then look at the revenue, he just said 144,000. And I just, in my gut, this is one of those situations for me where I say, just because you can, doesn't mean you should. Just because you can increase it by 3.8% or whatever it is, doesn't mean you should. Is it necessary to continue providing quality maintenance and upgrades for that property? And the expenditure numbers, I mean, remember I asked Kevin once, why is this truck thing over here fall under CFP? Because we don't have one truck specified. Oh, well, we just, we put that over there, because that budget can afford it. So, I understand this was set up a long time ago, but if I were a homeowner and I said, I want to see these numbers, I would vote for it, for the tax to continue, but I can't support the increase. I just can't. I don't see that the numbers necessitate that we charge those people more.
Well, we didn't increase it, right? Wasn't it like the state or it's something?
We're allowed to, right? We're allowed to.
So we gave the green light to say yay to the increase.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Well,
So.
I mean, all of our taxes, if you're owning a home, your taxes go up every year. I mean, the assessments are changed and your property becomes more valuable. And yeah, they tend to go up and not down.
And this leads to property value increases, and we're talking about $1.50 additional per month. So that's where I'm looking at it from the dollar amount. I think that the park and rec, this department provides $1.50 worth of additional services to these folks. Not that they would think they would be
Over and above last year, show me. Over and above last year,
well. I mean, inflation just in and of itself is enough to.
but we still have way more than enough to cover additional costs. Look at the revenue, 144 versus 14 grand.
I get what you're saying, but I see the value in an additional $1.50.
Where are you seeing 14 grand?
You won't see a very large carryover for Cherry Blossom.
Okay, that would help.
You won't see that.
What is the usual? You're saying we spent $140,000 on Cherry Blossom this year?
Just the salaries and the water. Electricity too.
So the total to date, if I'm reading this correctly, Terry, and you can help me if I'm wrong, it's on page 3 of the CFD expenditure report. It's the summary of all the expenses. We're at $142,614 right now expended, leaving a balance of $56,318 for the last 3 months of the year. So we're at 63% of our expenditures. The budgeted amount to spend was $227,000 because that's based on a contingency as well. Last month, we only spent $644. We're not paying for water yet. But today we've expended $142,000.
So these salaries are all separate. They're not a percentage of like maintenance salaries.
Well, no, they are a percentage.
The full-time salary that's shown in this report is a portion of a full-time maintenance worker's overall salary.
For 9 weeks.
So we do allocate.
Sorry.
Say that again?
Well, we take one employee and we divide them into the general fund and the charity blossom. The general fund gets three paydays, 6 times 6, and then we get 9 paydays for this, for charity blossom. So it doesn't matter who, I take out one employee, but every maintenance guy can go there.
And yeah, I mean, it's a formula that we put in place a few years ago when we opened the park and the CFD was implemented and we started levying those taxes. We use 8 maintenance workers there, but we have one person that we allocate 3/4 of their salary to, just out of the cherry blossom budget, to cover. We just don't have the bandwidth to break down on an hourly basis who's doing what, how many guys are,
No,
what's.
I understand that.
So that's, and then, but the part-time salaries, yes, now, we didn't expend everything that we planned on expending this year for a lot of various reasons. But along with salaries goes retirement, OASDI, insurance, workers' comp. We have to account for all of those. Those are expenses. So we budgeted 94,000 and we're at 79,000. So we're at 83% of our expended salaries and benefits. We should be at 75% this month, actually.
Well, that's also because we don't have a part-time over there.
Yeah. And then the services and supplies, you can see some of it's admin, most of it is maintenance. And there are some years that, and I will tell you that when I was the park superintendent, I almost had to remind myself on a monthly basis, look at what Cherry Blossom has, because again, it's not as easy as saying, oh, we're going to spend $600 for refuse at Cherry Blossom, because we don't have a dumpster at Cherry Blossom. We don't have a place to put the trash. We go pick up the trash and we put it in our dumpsters at the shop, or we take it to the county. That costs money. So we allocate a portion of our refuse that we think we're going to use that incorporates Cherry Blossom Park and the Alberta streetscapes.
And I assume a percentage of auto maintenance.
Correct. Fuel, everything. Anything you see in there is a portion of what is also in the general fund. So it's actually pretty lean. The contingency allows us to start planning for again, using Cherry Blossom Park as an example. Back when the park was built, sewer and plumbing were scabbed in. There's a location there that if we ever wanted to put a bathroom building in, we could. It's there. We'd have to dig it up and make sure it still works. But we have that option. There's been talk over years to put in a half-court basketball court. We would need that contingency money because that's a pretty expensive project to do.
Contingency is 15,000.
No. That contingency is, but what he really means is like how the general.
Reserve.
Thank you. He meant to say reserve.
Reserve.
We have over, I think, it should be on the front page of the that what the reserve is somewhere in there.
Well, I've got page 1, general reserve fund carryover 0. And 0% on the general reserve fund.
It will be in the budget section, that will tell you what the reserve is, if you had your budget. Down there.
But we do have a pretty significant reserve account for the CFD. But if we needed to buy an extra piece of equipment and stuff like that, that's what would come out of the reserve account. Board approval.
If Terry guide me. Contingency on page 3 says 25,000, reserve 2833, is that? I'm looking on page 3 for those numbers, contingency 25K, reserve 28,333.
That's what we put in, the 28 went into the reserves, that was from years have gone. But if you look at your budget, your revenues page will have the reserve of what it is.
Are you talking about the
The real budget,
general fund budget?
yes,
Oh,
the real budget,
okay, well,
yeah. I can go get my budget if you like.
you're saying we budgeted 141,820 and have already spent 142,614. And if we increase it, then it's gonna be 144. Yes,
Well, that's what we're gonna bring into the year, but again, we do have, yes, I mean, we have carryover, sometimes we have carryover. Yeah, it's not necessarily the same number that those homeowners get assessed for. We just add that into our revenue stream. We still have the expenses that we need to operate the park and the streetscapes and the water and all that stuff, so. I take your point. I don't wanna unfairly, take tax money from folks that aren't getting the benefit of us being up there, but, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to get out of that skip program so bad, because those folks that, we get our money up front on a bond sale, they're paying those things off over 30 years.
yeah.
I just, it didn't feel right.
Well, and all of us in North Highlands, I mean, look at all the bonds we've been out there. I mean, I've got like at least $500 on my property tax bill. It's bonds for schools.
Yeah, I'm still paying Belarus on two or three different school districts, and none of my kids are at school. That's just the cost of doing business.
The reserves for cherry blossom was $109,156.
Say that one more time, the what?
The reserve,
Page in line.
huh?
Page,
It's in
is
the
it
budget,
in this report though?
no,
Okay,
No, she had to go get.
reserves from the RP
okay, all right.
report.
So we have 109,000.
$109,156 as of today. So if we have money to put in the reserves, when we do the budget, we put contingency in the reserves, and then you'll never see the reserves ever again, because.
Is that part of why there's no carryover or very little carryover?
Yes.
Find somewhere to put the money whether you use it or not.
Yeah,
And that 109, is that for cherry blossom?
that is for cherry,
Even though it's
Very well.
in the budget?
it's in the only cherry blossom budget, but
Okay,
it doesn't go into the general fund of
The overall budget.
the overall budget.
okay.
Strictly,
So even though our expenses were the 142, we still squirreled away 190,000,
109,000.
9,000.
So when we do our budget, we try to get a contingency, we have to balance the revenue to the expenditures, so then I can put some in the reserve, so in case you need a new park, equipment on the park, which we did for the.
Okay. My point being that of the 142, it wasn't all spent on maintenance and repairs and wages for cherry blossom. Some of it went into a reserve for future projects.
We have to put that away. Cause that's part of the,
109,000 is a chunk of change.
Rainy day money.
Now, I assume that's cumulative. That's not 1 year's worth.
No, that's
no,
right.
that's,
So we add every year that is built up to,
yes,
so ballpark. You said there's no carryover, but we putting money in reserve. Ballpark, how much annually do we put in reserve
so last year.
for cherry blossom?
Last year, we didn't put anything in the reserves because we didn't have a big carryover. That carryover is the carryover. That's contingency, that's all we had left, because.
So in 25, 26, we did not contribute to the reserve fund
No,
or the contingency fund,
the contingency, yes, you see it on that there,
15,000.
right.
Just doing rough math, the park's been open since 2018. 110,000 over 6 years is 18,000 a year we put in, if we have it, so.
But there's not, it's not a set formula.
No,
It's
It's
based on what's
Yeah.
there, okay.
that's all I've got. Yeah, because our preliminary, we did have 54,000 in the reserves. But because my bad budgeting, I was,
Well,
we didn't have nothing to do.
then my next question would be, if we've already spent 142 and these increases are gonna take us up to 144, then it's probably not likely that we're going to contribute to
Reserves.
even with the increase.
Well, that's where we go through with the scalpel on services and supplies. If we look at it and using your coaching, for example, we put in, $1,000 for refuse. We haven't budget, we haven't billed any of the refuse,
Right,
bill,
big chunk that.
which we should have, because we haven't spent any of that money. We still we spent all of that money.
We spent all.
Yeah,
Never mind, I got a little.
it's 100%.
confused.
It's all gone.
It's all gone, yeah. I'm trying to look for an account that we haven't used.
Well, we still have a month to go. I mean,
Yeah.
water's,
Really, yeah.
The refuge is a budget 1,000, I do not take any more out for the next 2 months from the bill. I wanted it to be $1,200 for $100 a month, but it cut me.
Well, for example, like land improvement supplies on the line number 130, we spent 49%. We should have spent more than that. So that's just the approach we take internally.
What do you mean by we should have spent more than that?
Well, the money's there to be spent. It's there to beautify the park. It's there to beautify the streetscapes.
So
And
you're not pissing off the neighborhood.
we want to spend the money. Then we want those neighbors to know we're here and we're doing good things for.
This is why your taxes are going up.
This is what your taxes are being used for. Yeah.
Question, we've done a spotlight on Cherry Blossom, I remember being at a.
Oh, yeah.
spotlight. Yeah,
We
okay,
did yoga with
yeah, okay, just checking.
You
That we-
don't know.
And and those individuals are in our district, so they receive postcards as well. All of those homes receive our
Yeah,
parents, yep,
My daughter gets hers, and
Okay.
she lives right down the street, she uses the park.
okay.
But I'll make a motion that we accept the levies for special taxes for.
The motion's already on the table.
Yeah, we have a second.
Crystal and Bo.
I think all we need to vote, no more discussion.
She didn't.
Okay.
Crystal
Crystal and I was
and Bo second.
All right, all in favor?
I.
Unknown.
Did you get that, Terry?
I had it on the different notes, thank you.
Thank you for looking at the budget for me and explaining that, I appreciate it. Chairperson doesn't have much other than reminder, I know Chris Stice,
Did you want to talk about item B?
B reduction in water. Oh, no, I was like, where'd she go? I'm sorry, see, I got ahead of myself and I already scratched it off.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, and I asked if this one be on here.
See,
So, we have this state law coming up that says if the grass area is not designated for a specific purpose, then we've got to get rid of it and replace it with, water reduction foliage. And I was coming by, Ruth Inman the other day and then thought about Rich Point. And we're talking about a community garden up there at Sierra Creek. Why not look into community gardens at some of the other park locations? And then I was thinking, we might be able to get some of the elementary schools involved. I was wondering if Morgan might be,
no.
I wonder if Morgan might be a resource because she's real into teaching kids about,
What you did Dragons Den with them before?
farming and vegetables and if it was successful, eventually they could do their own farmers market, community parks, farmers market. We've got the space and a garden, as far as I know, and obviously we need to do some research. I think a garden's gonna use a lot less water.
And there's ways to, do.
You do it right, you put in drip systems and
Exactly.
this thing and things like that.
Yeah, but that was my thought. I know Kevin has plans to replace foliage with, stuff that doesn't use as much water, and we've gotta get rid of a bunch of grass area.
Like really, get rid of, isn't there like what I don't know what you call it? Not all, right? There's like a thing, there's like.
If it's-
there's
No.
like a
Little
thing.
bit of grass.
Well, listen.
There's a mark.
Let's use Brock Park as an example.
Okay.
Every inch of grass at Brock Park gets used for recreational activity.
Except the medians.
But the medians have already been taken out. We've turned the water off and it's all mulch now. They're mulched in. We'll be adding planting in this coming fiscal year. So, but if you look at Ruth Inman, and Joanna will use that as an example, that's all ornamental. There's no recreation.
Hasn't been
It's
designated.
a station though, cause I can go skip out there.
It's,
You know, if you need me to. And we do events, we paint it up. Yeah, I'm confused how you determine.
Maybe that could be our joke. Oh, please.
The state law will probably define in more detail what,
Okay.
what the spirit of the bill is.
There's a line.
But it's a thing now, and we have to, it's 527, we have to, we have to adhere to that. We have some time to do it, but, I think it's not a bad thing to consider cutting our water consumption, because the bills just keep going up and the cost of water keeps going up every year. Are we using it wisely? Do we have a functioning turf plan? Which I think we do now under Kevin's watch, because he has a pretty good grasp of how to keep turf active and growing and looking good. But in the past, we'd dump $100,000 worth of water on, but we weren't aerating, or we weren't overseeding, or we weren't doing the things you're supposed to do to keep grass green. It's kind of akin to just not doing anything to your front lawn at home. And all the water that you put on, you see it running down into the gutter because it doesn't soak into the dirt and keep your grass green.
Well, and
So we have to get better.
the situation is not going to improve.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you saw the article the other day about Nevada and the impact that their control over water is gonna have on East Central California and Southern California. I mean, the water situation is not going to improve. It is going to continue to get worse. So, yeah, we can use water smartly, but we can also reduce the need for water, and I think that's the state's goal. If you have a soccer field, a baseball field, whatever, great, it's green, you have grass. If you have a playground, great, you have some green, you have some grass. But you don't need 3 acres of grass that's not designated for anything but pleasure. It's not a volleyball field, it's not.
But it's a thing. John, I hear what you're saying. I'm curious. If not grass, then what? Like, what do you replace it with? Concrete?
No.
You can do pathways, DG pathways or mulch pathways. You can do,
What about a Zen garden?
Zen gardens. You can do drought tolerant plant gardens.
And I agree, it'll probably be specified. They'll probably have some kind of guidelines.
Yeah, that's the word.
Well, look up the law.
Guidelines.
Yeah, look up the law. I'm sure there are guidelines.
I mean, I think about this complex and, all that grass out there.
We don't have any out front, cause
You don't have-
next door.
Oh,
The kids took care of that.
See, they're helping out.
no.
We can have them do that.
Now it's bikes.
But I think, like Freedom Park, it's justifiable. We have all that open green space. Well, because people use it. They picnic on it. They run around on it. They kick soccer balls on
And
it.
read books. I see people sit in grass all the time.
Yeah, so I think that is justifiable to leave that in place, but, Joanna mentioned the strips and
Right.
the sidewalk areas.
And right, you go by Brock, he has all kinds of
Well, there's a mountain of mulch.
mulch on one side and yeah.
We
no.
keep getting it from SMUD. They just keep
And
dropping it
that-
off.
The
Yeah,
only thing is, I would say like, I know,
The law.
yeah, I know that it's
It's either AB or SB 527.
Sorry about that.
that Ruth Emmon was, no, the thing about Ruth Emmon though is like, it is the hello, the welcome to North Highlands.
Mhm.
So I would like for us to just kind of be really, really intentional about what that looks like and not like pay paradise and put up a parking lot kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just be really thoughtful on what we do. I mean, like I said,
That's
Zen
exactly.
garden, yogurt garden, something that is impressed, like you are now in North Highlands.
Yeah.
Not just like mulching and cacti.
You could have statues.
I don't know about statue though. I don't know how to get statues. Often.
I'm just saying, you can do anything that reduces grass and the need for water and is still pleasant to look at, along with putting in a community garden.
Yeah. I mean, I hear
My
what
only concern about in this, it's really kind of off the beaten path.
but it's, I mean, it is one of the entry points to, one of the major entry points to North Highlands. So anyway, we got time to think about that, but.
Well, they have a lot of parks with open grass space that could be used for a community garden. If we could generate the interest and find someone who would support the efforts, and that's why I don't know about Morgan. She, you know, her organization's been doing a lot about educating kids on farming and planting and trees and shade and all that. She might be a good resource. There might be other resources out there, even more valuable. Well, I just thought it was worth looking into.
I do know that they're not in North Highlands, but the African, Melanie basically has a, children's grow farm kind of project. They started out with like the clamshell, packages that like strawberries and berries come in. They start their growing things that way. They start some of their seedlings that way. So it's also a recycle kind of thing. And I'm sure they're connected with some other kind of national program or state program, so I can get that.
I know FC Joyce had planter boxes built in between the buildings years ago, and the kids were doing gardening out there, but I think it was dependent on the teachers.
Weeds now?
It's weeds.
Yeah, it was dependent on the teachers to handle it.
We got enough.
But again, we have 4 squares out there.
I like the coincidence that, you know, Joanna brought this to my attention and asked to be an agenda item. And then I got that correspondence from the Conservation Corps director, and they have grant opportunities for heat mitigation. Community gardens fit that bill. You know, tree plantings fit that bill, grows of trees, things like that. I mean, picture a park turned into not a section of Rose Garden, but like, what is it, McKinley Park down in Sacramento, on 30th in that area? The whole thing is Rose Garden.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, there are things we can discuss. It's a long-term project, but you know, it's an important project, and I think we should embrace it and identify what we can do to make our district, you know, better and more water savvy. So,
Well, and activities that we can hopefully draw the community
Absolutely.
interest in.
absolutely. I always thought this little spot right here would be a great community garden. So, and it's just green grass that no one plays.
You know, you can use fruit trees.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Love to partner with this little community right next door.
Yes, and I was already thinking about.
They already partnered with the front of our
The
door.
moms and dads are partnering with us.
Kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they would.
All right.
All right, anything else? All right, back to chairperson's report. I just wanted to remind everybody, I know, I'm pretty sure, Chris, when you enrolled, I enrolled on the webinar regarding the latest requirement for us to do the financial training. June 17th, 1 to 3. It's free.
I'll be there. I might not be there, but I'll be there.
I think that's soon.
Yeah, well, that's my day. I'm on call that day, so I might have my headphone on, but that'd be my plug-in. That's it.
And I'm pretty sure this was the only one that was available online at the time we looked at it. The other are all in person.
And all over the place.
Yeah, they may come up with some more, but this is the one.
But we
There-
got time. We got time.
There will definitely be
Yeah.
more and more convenient options. This is a rollout that just started, so CSDA and I think I shared with you last month, Capri and working with Vector Solutions. Like some of you have taken your anti-harassment training and your ethics training through Vector. You can do the same. You will be able to do the same thing in the next couple 7 months. So.
And you'll get a certificate, turn that certificate into Terry so she doesn't jump down your throat.
Yep.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did. You're the secretary, you're supposed to keep track.
Yeah, okay.
No, I thought it was that. Is that you now?
No, it's that.
Now you made me.
Zach voted him
He
in.
made me.
Alright, board members, you're up.
Anyone going to the conferences? What's coming up? The
Who's got time?
Monterey, I'm like, can't make it. I was curious if anyone was okay.
I love Monterey was a good one.
You know, I like Monterey, minus the fact that I love my cufflinks at that time. Anyway, this month we will celebrate Memorial Day. And in light of the fact that we are currently at war or conflict, we have lost soldiers and sailors, and we have lost folks this year in an active conflict. And so it's not just, you know, the pictures that you see of a World War II pilot. It's young people, young men and women who've left their families over the last couple of months. And so I want to just give acknowledgement of their service, the fact that they gave their all to protect their country. I really appreciate that. So to the fallen service members in the past, and unfortunately, we're gonna have fallen service members in the future. I just wanna take the time to say thank you.
Awesome. Celebrate North Highlands is in the works, still looking for volunteers, vendors, performers, booths. All available September 26th.
Yep.
From 10 to 3 p.m. at Freedom Park. You can go online and find out how you can participate.
Celebrate North Highlands. Anything else you want to share?
Shira?
I wanted to let y'all know I went to Well Space Health today. They had a First Five Sacramento does these tours where they go to Family Resource Center. So I ran in here heck quick and got some recreation guides and postcards and shared it with the Well Space Health. They're having an event on the 20th at Freedom Park. And I sent Scott the picture like, hey, are we going? And it's like, we don't even have this on record. So I just during the meeting I told them we appreciate when they do show up, when we invite them, they show up, appreciate the partnership. And they are definitely interested in learning more of how we can collaborate and how we can serve each other in this space. I'm not sure if you all have ever referred families to Well Space Health or if you know what they offer or what they do, but it would be a great opportunity to connect. They have a graduation coming up. Someone gave me their card and I'm going to be sending, I wanted to confirm first though if I should be sending the email to you or Scott with them CC to establish a relationship.
Probably both of us.
Okay. Will do. And then y'all saw the North Watt Plan meeting is coming up. I think y'all were all on the invite. I remember seeing you. Something about now I can't even find it where on my thing. But did you? Well, you're on the invite too about community collaboration forum. And then last but not least, happy birthday
the date and time and stuff.
for the North Watt. No, I don't know where I wrote it down. Oh, May 27th, 9:30 to 11.
Where?
No, you're asking her question, she had not got that far.
Let me search his name, Jesse.
That's a sheet.
Oh, let me search her name.
Yeah, I had written from last month, Jesse, Watt Corridor June.
It says on my thing, it says Microsoft Teams. But yeah, it says Microsoft Teams. So hopefully Teams.
Yeah, Jesse Shen is the info coordinator for the county.
That you've met with.
I've met with her a couple times and she would like to come and meet with you on our June 11 meeting. It could be July, but we talked about June 11.
Okay.
That'd be great.
She's working to bring development into North Highlands, specifically on the corridor, and add parks and recreation amenities to those developments. So she peppered me with a bunch of questions, but she'll be able to present to you in person very soon.
And happy work anniversary and birthdays to all our team members. Most importantly, I missed Miss Kayla's birthday. May the 4th be with you. What? And then Miss Joanna, May 20th. Hey.
Thank you.
Turning 25 again.
Yeah, right.
And then And then Kevin on the 27th. I wanted to at least name them because they were present. But thank y'all so much for allowing me to share. And I hope you have a wonderful birthday.
Yeah, my mom will be up, it'll be fun.
Stay off that.
Okay, anything else? That was good?
One other thing, ballots are out. Please,
Oh.
your ballot in by June the 2nd.
Yes.
It's so important that we vote.
All right, our next regular meeting of the Board of Directors will be on June 11th at 6:30 P.M. Right here at the North Island Recreation Center. This meeting is adjourned.